You know, we Californians, we do everything different, including identifying our hazard zones before you buy a home. So let me talk to you about the 6 known hazardous zones that we identify as part of a natural hazard disclosure. The first one is, guess what? Floods. So we have special flood zones that we identify, and when you look on your natural hazard report, it will tell you whether or not you're in a flood zone, and you probably want to know that. The next one is something called an inundation zone. An inundation zone is a common area given to a possible flood due to a damaged dam. And if a dam breaks and that is in the path of where you live, you probably want to know that one too. The next hazards are broken down into the very high fire hazard zones as well as wildfire hazard zones. This has gotten a lot of press the last couple of years, and it's going to continue. California is a state that's very, very dry due to droughts, due to lack of rain, things like that. And the areas that are susceptible to wildfires and fire zones has changed dramatically over the last few years. So you want to be very sure that you understand, if you live in an area that is prone to fire, that you make sure that you create what's called a defensible space around your property so that if there is a fire, it has a harder time getting to your structure. And all of that has been thoroughly changed this year to indicate which zip codes are more prone to fires, which areas are more prone to wildfire fires. And it's very, very important that that disclosure is part of what you get to learn before you purchase any property in the state of California. And again, it just keeps being changed and modified depending on what we're experiencing every year. So make sure you go over the fire hazard disclosures very, very carefully. The next 2 and the last 2 have to do with earthquakes. You could be in a seismic zone, or you can be in an earthquake fault zone. Not unusual in the state of California, but super important that it gets reported to you on your hazardous disclosure. So let's talk about those. One has to do with how close you are to a fault. The other one has to do with whether or not there's been a lot of seismic activity in the area where the home that you wish to buy is. And those are determined by the state of California geologist and reported on your environmental hazard disclosure. So you should receive a very complete 6-part hazard disclosure when you get ready to look at the paperwork for the home that you want to buy, and the seller is responsible for providing that via his agent. So if you do not receive that as part of your disclosures, ask for it. It's provided to you as part of that packet, and you need to go through that and figure out whether fires, earthquakes, or any other type of hazards in the area, including floods, are part of what it is you're purchasing before you make that all-important purchase in whatever area it is that you've fallen in love with a house. We look forward to talking to you next time. This is Deborah Durbin at Sacramento Good Life. See you soon. Bye-bye.